She paused for half a second before answering. You caught it. He said he was fine, but his voice dropped just slightly at the end of the sentence. You caught that too. The room went quiet for one moment too long after someone made that joke. Nobody else seemed to notice. You did. You have been collecting these small signals your entire life. The micro expression that flashed and disappeared before anyone else looked up. The exact tone shift in a text message that everyone else read as completely normal. The tension in a room that nobody else can name, but you can feel pressing against your skin the second you walk in. And here is what almost no one knows about you. You will notice all of it. Every layer, every shift, every flicker. And then you will say absolutely nothing. You will sit there, fully aware that something just happened, while everyone around you continues exactly as if it didn't. And you will let it pass. Again. Like you always do. People who know you would probably never guess how much you actually see. Because on the outside you look calm, unbothered, maybe even a little distant. But inside you are running a constant, detailed report on everything happening around you that nobody asked you to compile. Why do you do this? Why notice so much and say so little? Stay with me, because what we are about to uncover explains something about your mind that very few people, maybe even you, have ever fully understood. Researchers studying something called perceptual sensitivity have found that certain individuals process environmental and social information with significantly more depth and speed than the general population. This is not a personality quirk, it is measurable. Brain imaging studies show that highly perceptive individuals show increased activity in regions associated with pattern recognition and emotional processing, even when looking at the exact same scene as someone who notices nothing unusual at all. In simple terms, your brain is built to catch what other brains are built to miss, but noticing is only half of what is happening here. The far more interesting question is why you almost never say anything about what you notice. Psychologists who study high sensitivity and social observation describe a pattern called strategic silence. It is the decision, often made unconsciously, to withhold an observation not because you do not trust what you saw, but because you have learned that naming it rarely goes well. Think back. Maybe there was a time long ago when you said exactly what you noticed. You pointed out the tension, you named the thing nobody else wanted to acknowledge. And instead of being thanked for your awareness, you were told you were imagining things, reading too much into it, making something out of nothing. So your brain adjusted, it kept the noticing, because that system runs automatically and cannot simply be switched off. But it removed the talking, because talking was the part that got punished. This is why you can sit in a room and track every undercurrent happening within it while saying absolutely nothing about any of it. Your awareness never went away. It just stopped being shared. Here is something else worth understanding. This pattern is closely linked to what researchers call hypervigilant attunement, a state often shaped by environments where reading people accurately was not just useful, it was necessary for safety. If you grew up needing to predict a parent's mood before it shifted, or sense conflict before it escalated, your brain did not develop this skill for entertainment. It developed it for survival. And once a skill is built for survival, it does not switch off just because the danger has passed. But here is where it becomes important to be honest with yourself. There are two versions of noticing everything and saying nothing, and they look almost identical from the outside. The first is quiet wisdom. A person who observes carefully, chooses their words with precision, and speaks only when it truly matters. Their silence is selective. It is not fear. It is discernment. The second is something heavier. A person who has learned that speaking up about what they notice leads to conflict, dismissal, or being made to feel like the problem. Their silence is not chosen, it is protective, and it often comes at the cost of never being fully known by the people around them. Ask yourself honestly, when you notice something and stay quiet, is it because the moment does not call for words? Or is it because some part of you still expects to be disbelieved if you speak? That answer tells you something true about the silence you carry. Here is what I want you to know. Your perception is not too much. It never was. The world is simply full of people who are not paying attention, and you happen to be one of the rare ones who is. That is not a burden to apologize for. That is a kind of intelligence most people will never develop, no matter how hard they try. You do not have to announce everything you see, but you also do not have to silence yourself completely just because once somebody made you feel wrong for noticing. There is a version of speaking up that does not require defending yourself. It simply requires trusting what you already know. The next time you notice something true and feel that familiar urge to stay quiet, ask yourself one question. Am I protecting the moment, or am I still protecting myself from something that happened a long time ago? If this is you, tell me in the comments one word for something you noticed recently that you never said out loud. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe to Psychology Unpacked. Understanding yourself starts here.